First contact. The alien sun cast long shadows across the barren landscape as Zara Chen made her way over another rocky ridge. Her exosuit whirred softly with each step, compensating for the planet's higher gravity. She paused at the top, surveying the rust-colored terrain through her helmet's heads-up display. Another thrilling day on planet Nowhere, Zara muttered to herself, her voice echoing slightly in her helmet. As an independent explorer and cartographer, she was used to solitude. But after weeks of mapping this desolate world on the fringes of known space, even she was starting to feel the isolation. Her senses chirped, pulling her from her thoughts. Something was registering just over the next hill, a metallic signature that didn't match the surrounding geology. Zara felt a surge of excitement. Maybe this survey wouldn't be a complete waste after all. As she crested the hill, her eyes widened at the sight before her. A sleek, silver craft lay half-buried in the rusty soil, steam still rising from its damaged hull. It was unmistakably of alien origin, unlike any ship design she'd ever encountered. Holy shit, Zara breathed, her heart racing. First contact. This could change everything. She approached cautiously, her hand hovering near the particle beam at her hip. As she drew closer, she noticed a trail of viscous blue fluid leading away from the wreckage. Whatever, or whoever, had been piloting the craft was injured. Following the trail, Zara rounded a boulder and came face to face with the alien. It was humanoid in shape, but that's where the similarities ended. Its skin was a pale lavender, covered in intricate markings that seemed to shimmer and shift. 4 obsidian eyes blinked up at her in fear and pain. The alien was clearly wounded, clutching a gash in its side that oozed blue blood. It tried to scramble away as Zara approached, but collapsed with a strangled cry. Zara raised her hands slowly, trying to appear non-threatening. "Easy there," she said softly, knowing the alien couldn't understand her words, but hoping her tone would convey her intentions. "I'm not going to hurt you." The alien's eyes darted between Zara and the weapon at her hip. It made a series of clicking sounds that Zara's translator couldn't decipher, but the meaning was clear. It expected her to kill it. Instead, Zara slowly unclipped her medkit from her belt and held it out. "Let me help you," she said, inching closer. The alien's eyes widened in surprise, then narrowed in suspicion. It watched warily as Zara knelt beside it and began examining the wound. "This might sting a bit," Zara warned as she applied a universal coagulant spray to stop the bleeding. The alien hissed in pain, but didn't pull away. As she worked, Zara's mind raced. Protocol dictated she should report this immediately to Earth's Central Command. But something told her that might not be the best course of action. There was more going on here than a simple crash landing. Once the bleeding was under control, Zara helped the alien to its feet. All 3 of them, she noted with fascination. It swayed unsteadily, still weak from blood loss. "Come on," Zara said, gesturing to her nearby rover. "Let's get you somewhere safe to recover." The alien hesitated, clearly torn between fear and the need for help. Finally, it nodded and allowed Zara to support it as they made their way to the vehicle. As they drove across the alien landscape, Zara couldn't help but marvel at the turn her routine survey mission had taken. She glanced at her unusual passenger, who was examining the rover's interior with obvious curiosity. "I'm Zara, by the way," she said, tapping her chest. Then she pointed to the alien. "Do you have a name?" The alien considered for a moment, then made a series of clicks and whistles. Zara's translator crackled to life, approximating the sound as best it could. "Crix." "Nice to meet you, Crix," Zara said with a smile. "I have a feeling this is the start of a beautiful friendship." Little did she know just how prophetic those words would prove to be. Back at her base camp, Zara helped Crix into her spare sleeping pod. The alien's eyes widened as it took in the array of human technology surrounding them. As Crix settled in, Zara activated her universal translator and held it out. "This might help us communicate better," she explained. "Just speak normally, and it should translate for both of us." Crix eyed the device warily before speaking. The translator crackled, then produced a stilted but understandable version of Crix's words. Why help me? Your kind and mine, enemies. Zara's brow furrowed. Enemies? But we've never even met your species before. Crix's markings pulsed with what Zara was beginning to recognize as agitation. Not yet. Soon, very soon. A chill ran down Zara's spine as the implications sank in. Are you saying your people are planning to attack Earth? Crix nodded sullenly. Empire expands always. Your world, next target. Zara sat back, her mind reeling. This changed everything. But you're different, she said slowly. You crashed here. Were you trying to warn us? Crix's markings swirled in a pattern Zara couldn't interpret. Disagreed with invasion plans. Tried to leave. Shot down. You're a defector, Zara realized. She leaned forward, her voice urgent. Crix, we need to warn my people. How much time do we have? Not much, Crix replied. Invasion fleet, already underway. Zara stood, pacing as she considered their options. Her small survey ship wasn't built for long-distance space travel, but Crix's crashed vessel, if they could repair it. She turned back to the alien, determination blazing in her eyes. Crix, I have a crazy idea, but I'm going to need your help. As Crix listened to Zara's plan, its markings began to pulse with a new pattern, one that Zara would later learn meant hope. Together, the human explorer and the alien defector began to prepare for a journey that would change the course of galactic history. The fate of two civilizations now rested in their hands. Race against time. The twin suns of Crix's homeworld cast an eerie purple glow across the repair bay, where Zara and Crix worked feverishly on the alien vessel. Sweat beaded on Zara's brow as she welded a patch onto the hull, her exosuit straining against the planet's intense gravity. Zara friend, Crix's translated voice crackled through her comms. Hyperdrive calibration complete. Quantum fluctuations stabilized. Great work, Crix, Zara replied, stepping back to admire their handiwork. I think we might actually pull this off. Just then, a distant rumble shook the ground. Zara's eyes widened as she saw a massive warship descending through the atmosphere, its hull bristling with weaponry. Time's up, she muttered. Crix, we need to go. Now. They scrambled into the newly repaired ship, Zara marveling at the alien controls as Crix's three-fingered hands danced across them. The engines hummed to life, a sound unlike anything in human technology. As they lifted off, the warship opened fire. Plasma bolts sizzled past them, close enough that Zara could feel the heat through the hull. Hang on, Crix shouted, engaging the hyperdrive. The stars stretched into lines, then exploded into a kaleidoscope of colors as they entered hyperspace. Zara let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. That was too close, she said, slumping in her seat. Crix's markings pulsed with agreement. Journey to Earth, long and dangerous. Empire will hunt us. Zara nodded grimly. Then we'll just have to be smarter and faster. As they hurtled through the cosmos, Zara and Crix took turns at the controls, each teaching the other about their respective technologies and cultures. Your species, so diverse, Crix marveled as Zara showed him images of Earth. How do you not war constantly? Zara chuckled. Oh, we do. But we're learning to work together, slowly but surely. Their journey was far from smooth. They narrowly escaped a microscopic wormhole that threatened to tear the ship apart. They outmaneuvered space pirates in an asteroid field, Zara's piloting skills complementing Crix's knowledge of the ship's capabilities. But their greatest challenge came when they were forced to stop for emergency repairs at a bustling spaceport. As Zara worked on the ship, disguised in a hooded cloak, Crix ventured into the crowded marketplace to obtain crucial parts. Suddenly, Zara's comms crackled to life. Zara friend, Crix's voice was urgent. Discovered, Imperial agents. Cannot return to ship. Zara's heart raced. Hold on, Crix. I'm coming for you. She grabbed her particle beam and plunged into the alien throng, her eyes scanning frantically for any sign of her friend. She spotted Crix cornered by two menacing figures in sleek armor, their weapons drawn. Without hesitation, Zara fired, her particle beam cutting through the air and disabling the agent's weapons. In the ensuing chaos, she grabbed Crix's hand and they ran, dodging through the bewildered crowd. They reached the ship just as alarms began blaring throughout the spaceport. As they lifted off, a tractor beam locked onto them, threatening to drag them back. "Crix, we need more power," Zara shouted, straining against the controls. Crix's markings pulsed frantically as it rerouted power from non-essential systems. With a lurch, they broke free, blasting out of the spaceport and back into open space. As the adrenaline faded, Zara turned to Crix. "You okay?" Crix's markings swirled in a pattern Zara now recognized as gratitude. "You risked much to save me. Why?" Zara smiled, reaching out to touch Crix's shoulder gently. "Because that's what friends do." The moment was interrupted by a proximity alert. A massive Imperial fleet had just dropped out of hyperspace directly in their path. "Last obstacle," Crix said grimly. "Earth's solar system, just beyond." Zara's jaw set with determination. "Then let's show them what a human and a rebel alien can do together." What followed was a battle that would be remembered in both human and alien history. Zara's unconventional tactics, combined with Crix's intimate knowledge of Imperial technology, allowed them to dance through the fleet's defenses. Their small ship ducked and weaved between capital ships, causing confusion and friendly fire. They used a gas giant's gravity to slingshot themselves past the fleet's main force, their engines screaming as they pushed to speeds that should have torn the ship apart. As they burst past the last line of Imperial ships, Earth's blue marble came into view. Zara felt tears spring to her eyes at the sight of home. "We made it," she breathed. But their victory was short-lived. As they approached Earth, they were met not with welcome, but with suspicion. Earth's defense forces, seeing an alien ship approaching at high speed, assumed the worst. "This is Earth Defense Command," a stern voice crackled over their comms. "Unidentified vessel, power down your engines and prepare to be boarded." Zara and Crix exchanged alarmed looks. After everything they'd been through, would they fail at the final hurdle? "This is Zara Chen, independent explorer," Zara broadcast. "I'm the friendly alien. We have critical information about an impending invasion. You have to listen." There was a long pause. Zara held her breath, acutely aware of the weapons locked onto their ship. Finally, the voice returned. "Zara Chen, you and your companion are ordered to dock at Lunar Base. Deviate from the assigned flight path and you will be shot down. Do you understand?" Zara sighed in relief. It wasn't the welcome she'd hoped for, but it was a start. "Understood, Command. We're on our way." As they maneuvered towards the moon, Crix turned to Zara, its markings pulsing with concern. "Your people, will they listen or imprison us?" Zara wished she could offer reassurance, but the truth was she didn't know. Humanity had never faced a situation like this before. Their reaction was impossible to predict. "I don't know, Crix," she said honestly. "But whatever happens, we'll face it together. We've come too far to give up now." As Lunar Base grew larger in their view screen, Zara and Crix steeled themselves for the challenges ahead. They had won the race against time, but the real battle, the fight for Earth's survival and for understanding between their species, was only just beginning. The fate of two civilizations now rested on their ability to make humanity believe the impossible. And time was running out. Humanity united. The gleaming halls of the United Earth Council chamber fell silent as Zara and Crix took center stage. Hundreds of eyes, both human and robotic, focused intently on the unlikely pair. Zara, her explorer's uniform Crix, despite their harrowing journey, stood tall beside Crix, whose iridescent markings pulsed with nervous energy. "Esteemed representatives," Zara began, her voice echoing through the vast chamber, I stand before you with news that will shake the very foundations of our civilization. We are not alone in the universe, and we are in grave danger." A murmur rippled through the assembly. Zara took a deep breath and continued, "This is Crix, a defector from an advanced alien empire that plans to invade Earth. We have mere weeks before their armada arrives." Chaos erupted. Shouts of disbelief and fear filled the air. Some representatives called for immediate military action, while others dismissed the claim as a hoax. Admiral Zhang, head of Earth's combined defense forces, rose to her feet. Silence. Her commanding voice cut through the din. She fixed Zara and Crix with a steely gaze. "These are extraordinary claims. What proof do you offer?" Crix stepped forward, its markings shifting to a pattern that the humans were beginning to recognize as determination. It activated a holographic projector, filling the chamber with a 3D map of the approaching invasion fleet. "Behold," Crix's translated voice rang out, "the might of the Zeth-Kali Empire. Thousands of warships, millions of warriors, technology beyond your current understanding." The council chamber fell deathly quiet as the enormity of the threat sank in. "If this is true," Admiral Zhang said slowly, "we face extinction. Our current defenses are nowhere near sufficient." "Which is precisely why we've come," Zara interjected. "Crix possesses intimate knowledge of the Empire's weaknesses. Together, we can devise strategies to defend Earth." For the next several hours, Zara and Crix laid out everything they knew about the Zeth-Kali Empire, their technology, tactics, and vulnerabilities. As they spoke, the mood in the chamber shifted from fear to grim determination. "We cannot hope to match their firepower," Admiral Zhang mused, "but perhaps we can outsmart them." And so began the greatest mobilization in human history. All around the globe, nations set aside their differences in the face of this existential threat. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists worked around the clock, incorporating Crix's knowledge into new defense systems. In orbit, massive space stations were hastily constructed, bristling with experimental weapons based on reverse-engineered Zeth-Kali technology. On the ground, quantum computers crunched data at unprecedented speeds, searching for tactical advantages. Zara found herself at the heart of it all, translating between human and alien thought processes, bridging the gap between two vastly different civilizations. Crix, once feared as a potential threat, became humanity's most valuable advisor. But not everyone was convinced. A vocal minority, led by the charismatic Senator Blackwood, argued that this was all an elaborate deception. "How do we know this alien isn't leading an advance force?" Blackwood demanded during a heated debate. "We could be laying out the welcome mat for our own destruction." Zara felt her temper flare. "Senator, Crix has risked everything to warn us. If you could set aside your fear for one moment." Her words were cut short by a deafening alarm. On the massive view screens surrounding the chamber, a chilling sight appeared. The leading edge of the Zeth-Kali fleet, emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Admiral Zhang's voice crackled over the comms. "This is not a drill. All personnel to battle stations. May whatever gods you believe in have mercy on us all." As humanity scrambled to its defenses, Zara turned to Crix, seeing her own mix of fear and determination reflected in its alien eyes. "Ready to save the world?" she asked, managing a small smile. Crix's markings pulsed with a new pattern, one that Zara realized. With a jolt of emotion, it had adapted from human body language. It was a nod. "Together," Crix replied. They raced to the command center, where Admiral Zhang was coordinating Earth's forces. The mood was tense but focused, years of training kicking in, despite the unprecedented nature of the threat. "Zara, Crix," Zhang barked as they entered. "I need options. How do we counter their first wave?" What followed was a frenetic exchange of ideas, human intuition melding with alien knowledge in real time. As the Zeth-Kali fleet approached, humanity prepared to make its stand. The first assault came not with energy weapons or bombs, but with a massive electromagnetic pulse designed to cripple Earth's technology. But thanks to Crix's warning, key systems had been hardened against just such an attack. As the pulse washed harmlessly over the planet, Admiral Zhang allowed herself a grim smile. Let's show these bastards what happens when you underestimate humanity. Earth's defenders sprang into action. Swarms of air-controlled drones, nearly invisible to Zef-Kali sensors, peppered the alien ships with pinpoint strikes. Experimental gravity weapons, based on Crix's insights, disrupted the enemy's formation, sending capital ships careening into each other. But the Zef-Kali were not easily defeated. They adapted quickly, unleashing weapons that defied human understanding. Strange energies warped space-time itself, threatening to tear holes in reality. For days, the battle raged across the solar system. Heroic sacrifices were made on both sides. The moons of Jupiter became impromptu battlefields, their ancient surfaces scarred by weapons fire. The rings of Sechen were transformed into glittering minefields. Through it all, Zara and Crix worked tirelessly, coordinating between human and alien perspectives, finding innovative solutions to seemingly impossible problems. Their unique partnership became a symbol of hope, a living proof that cooperation between species was possible. As the conflict reached its fever pitch, with both sides nearing exhaustion, Zara had an epiphany. We're thinking too conventionally, she realized. We need to change the game entirely. Her idea was audacious, combining human creativity with Zef-Kali technology in a way neither side had considered. It was dangerous, possibly suicidal, but it just might work. As Zara laid out her plan, a hush fell over the command center. Admiral Zhang's eyes widened. It's insane, she breathed. Then, a slow smile spread across her face. Which means the enemy will never see it coming. Crix's markings pulsed with a mixture of awe and concern. Zara, friend, it said softly, plan is brilliant, but risk to you, extreme. Zara met its gaze steadily. Some risks are worth taking, Crix. For Earth, for the future of both our peoples. As the final preparations were made, Zara felt a strange calm settle over her. Whatever happened next would change the course of history. Two civilizations, poised on the brink of mutual destruction, their fates balanced on a knife's edge. With a deep breath, Zara gave the signal to initiate her desperate gambit. As alarms blared and energy readings spiked off the charts, she closed her eyes and whispered a quiet prayer to the vast, uncaring cosmos. The fate of two worlds now hung in the balance, with Zara and Crix at the center of the storm. The next few moments would determine whether humanity would fall or take its first steps into a larger, more wondrous universe. Turning the tables, the void of space erupted in a dazzling spectacle of light and energy as Zara's plan unfolded. At the heart of the chaos, a modified Zef-Kali ship, piloted by Zara and Crix, streaked towards the enemy flagship, trailing a web of quantum-entangled particles. Status report. Admiral Zhang's voice crackled over the comms. Quantum web holding steady, Zara replied, her fingers dancing over alien controls. Preparing for phase shift, now. With a lurch that seemed to distort reality itself, their ship and the surrounding area vanished from normal space-time. The Zef-Kali fleet, caught off guard by this unprecedented maneuver, fell into disarray. Crix's markings pulsed with a mixture of awe and concern. Zara, friend, we approach point of no return. Are you certain? Zara met its gaze, her eyes blazing with determination. Absolutely. Let's make history. Their ship rematerialized inside the Zef-Kali flagship's main hangar, the quantum web expanding outward and disrupting the vessel's internal systems. Alarms blared as Zara and Crix sprinted from their craft, fighting against waves of disoriented alien crew members. Remember, Zara shouted as they ran, we're not here to conquer. We're here to communicate. They fought their way to the bridge, using a combination of human ingenuity and Crix's insider knowledge to overcome obstacles. As the doors slid open, they found themselves face to face with the Zefkali Emperor himself, a towering figure whose body shimmered with constantly shifting patterns. "Impossible," the Emperor's translated voice boomed. "How dare you invade the sanctum of—" "Your Eminence," Crix interrupted, stepping forward. "We come not as conquerors, but as emissaries. The humans are not the simple prey you believe them to be. They are capable of greatness beyond imagination." The Emperor's patterns swirled with confusion and anger. "Traitor, you would side with these primitives against your own kind." Zara stepped up beside Crix, her voice steady. "We're not enemies, Your Eminence. We're proof that our species can work together, learn from each other. This war is pointless. There's so much more we could achieve in cooperation." For a tense moment, it seemed the Emperor might order their immediate execution, but then something shifted in his ever-changing visage. "You breached our defenses," he said slowly, "with technology we thought impossible. Perhaps there is more to learn here than we anticipated." As discussions began on the bridge of the Zefkali flagship, a ceasefire was called across the solar system. The next few hours were a flurry of tense negotiations, cultural exchanges, and technological demonstrations. Zara found herself at the center of it all, translating not just words, but entire worldviews between humans and Zefkali. Crix stood by her side, its presence a constant reminder of what could be achieved when different species worked together. As the immediate crisis subsided, attention turned to the future. The Zefkali, impressed by humanity's resourcefulness and Zara's audacious plan, proposed a cultural exchange program. Humans would be welcome to study at the grand academies of the Empire, while Zefkali scientists would work alongside Earth's brightest minds. But not everyone was satisfied with this peaceful resolution. Hardliners on both sides argued for continued conflict, seeing compromise as weakness. Zara and Crix found themselves navigating a political minefield, working tirelessly to maintain the fragile peace they had brokered. Their efforts culminated in a historic summit on neutral ground, a massive space station constructed in orbit around Mars. Representatives from Earth and the Zefkali Empire gathered to formalize their new alliance and chart a course for the future. As Zara took the stage to address the assembled delegates, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Crix stood beside her, its markings pulsing with encouragement. "Distinguished representatives of Earth and the Zefkali Empire," Zara began, her voice carrying across the chamber. "We stand at a crossroads of cosmic significance. The choices we make here today will echo across generations and light years." She paused, looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike. "We have seen the destruction that comes from fear and misunderstanding, but we have also witnessed the incredible potential of cooperation. Together, we can unlock secrets of the universe that neither of our species could discover alone." As Zara spoke, holographic displays came to life around the chamber, showcasing the proposed joint ventures. Massive terraforming projects to create new habitable worlds, starships capable of intergalactic travel, and technologies that bordered on the miraculous. "This is not the end of our individual cultures," Zara continued, her voice passionate. "It is the beginning of something greater. A galactic community where diversity is celebrated, where different perspectives come together to solve the greatest challenges of our time." She turned to Crix, extending her hand. The alien took it without hesitation, their joined hands raised high, a powerful symbol of unity. "Look at us," Zara said, her eyes shining. "Once strangers, now the closest of friends. If we can bridge the gap between our species, imagine what else is possible." The chamber erupted in applause, the sound of human hands clapping mingling with the melodic tones of Zefkali approval. As the cheers washed over them, Zara felt a profound sense of hope for the future. But even as celebrations began, Zara knew their work was far from over. Integrating two vastly different civilizations would be a monumental task, fraught with challenges and setbacks. There would be those who resisted change, who clung to old hatreds and fears. Yet as she looked out at the crowd, humans and Zefkali mingling, sharing ideas and dreams. Zara knew it was all worth it. This was just the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure. As the formal proceedings concluded, Zara found a quiet moment alone with Crix on an observation deck overlooking the red planet below. "We did it," she said softly, still hardly believing it herself. Crix's markings swirled with a pattern Zara now recognized as deep contentment. "No, Zara, friend, you did it. Your courage, your vision, it changed everything." Zara shook her head, smiling. "We did it together. That's the whole point, isn't it?" As they stood there, watching the first joint human Zef-Kali expedition prepare to depart for the outer solar system, Zara felt a sense of excitement she hadn't experienced since her early days as an explorer. The universe had just gotten a whole lot bigger, and humanity's place in it had forever changed. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Zara knew that with friends like Crix by their side, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. The adventure of a lifetime was just beginning. A new era dawns. The massive view screen in Times Square flickered to life, drawing the attention of the bustling crowd. Faces of all colors and creeds turned upward, human eyes meeting the compound gazes of their Zef-Kali neighbors. A hush fell over the square as Zara Chen's image appeared, her explorer's uniform now adorned with the insignia of the newly formed Galactic Cooperative. "Citizens of Earth and honored guests from the stars," Zara began, her voice echoing across the planet and beyond. "Today we celebrate the 5th anniversary of the Great Alliance. 5 years since we turned the tide of war into an unprecedented era of peace and discovery." The screen split, showing scenes from across the solar system, the gleaming spires of New Jakarta rising from the Martian desert, Zef-Kali scientists working alongside humans in the orbital laboratories of Europa, the first joint deep space mission preparing to venture beyond the Kuiper Belt. "But our greatest achievement," Zara continued, her eyes shining with pride, "is not measured in buildings or breakthroughs. It's in the bonds we've forged, the understanding we've cultivated, and the future we're building together." The camera panned out, revealing Crix standing beside her. The alien's markings pulsed with a pattern that humans had come to recognize as joy. 5 years ago, Crix's translated voice resonated. "I believed my life was forfeit. Instead, I found friendship, purpose, and hope for a better future. Our two species, once on the brink of war, now stand united. Imagine what we can achieve in the centuries to come." As if on cue, a brilliant flash illuminated the sky. Gasps of awe rippled through the crowd as a massive structure shimmered into view in Earth's orbit. The Harmony Ring, a joint human Zef-Kali engineering marvel that would serve as a symbol of cooperation and a launchpad for future galactic exploration. "The Harmony Ring is more than a space station," Zara explained, her voice filled with excitement. "It's a promise. A promise that we will face the challenges of the cosmos not as separate species, but as one united force. From this day forward, we are no longer merely Earthlings or Zef-Kali. We are citizens of the galaxy." The crowd erupted in cheers, humans and aliens alike embracing, their differences forgotten in the face of this monumental achievement. But even as celebrations raged across the planet, Zara and Crix found themselves facing a new crisis. In a secure chamber deep within the Harmony Ring, they huddled with top officials from both species, poring over data from the farthest reaches of known space. "The Void Eaters," Admiral Zhang said grimly, pointing to a swirling mass of darkness on the star chart. "An entity unlike anything we've encountered. It consumes entire star systems, growing stronger with each passing day." Crix's markings pulsed with concern. "Our legends speak of such a force. We believe them mere myths." Zara's mind raced, considering the implications. How long do we have? At its current rate of expansion, a Zef-Kali scientist interjected, the Void Eaters will reach our galaxy within 2 decades. A heavy silence fell over the room. The threat they faced dwarfed anything either species had confronted before. It would require resources, technology, and cooperation on a scale that seemed almost impossible. Almost. Zara straightened, her eyes blazing with determination. Then we have work to do. We've already proven that we're stronger together than apart. Now it's time to take that unity to the next level. She turned to the assembled leaders, her voice ringing with conviction. We need to reach out to other species, form alliances beyond anything we've attempted before. We'll build weapons that harness the power of stars, develop shields that can withstand the unraveling of spacetime itself. Crix stepped forward, its markings pulsing with a pattern that matched Zara's intensity. We must also delve into the ancient knowledge of both our peoples. Perhaps the key to defeating the Void Eaters lies hidden in our combined histories. As the meeting adjourned, plans already forming, Zara and Crix found a moment alone. They stood before a viewport, gazing out at the blue marble of Earth below and the star-studded expanse beyond. Are you afraid, Zara friend? Crix asked softly. Zara considered the question, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Terrified, she admitted, but also excited. This is why we came together in the first place, isn't it? To face the unknown, to push the boundaries of what's possible. Crix's markings swirled in agreement. Indeed, our peoples were forged in the crucible of adversity. Together, we are unstoppable. As they stood there, contemplating the challenges that lay ahead, a shooting star streaked across the sky. Zara smiled, remembering an old Earth custom. Make a wish, Crix, she said, pointing to the fading trail of light. Crix tilted its head, puzzled. Wish on a piece of space debris. Zara laughed, the sound bright and hopeful in the face of the looming darkness. It's a human tradition. We wish on stars for good luck, for dreams to come true. Crix was quiet for a moment, then its markings pulsed with a new pattern, one that Zara realized, with a surge of emotion, it had created just for her. It meant family. I need no wish, Zara friend, Crix said softly. All I could hope for is already here. Zara felt tears prick her eyes as she reached out, taking Crix's hand in her own. Human and alien, two beings from worlds light years apart, now bonded by a friendship that transcended species. As they turned back to the viewport, the vastness of space stretched out before them, a canvas of infinite possibility. Whatever challenges the universe might throw their way, Zara knew that they would face them together. Not just her and Crix, but all of humanity and the Zethkali, and whatever new allies they might make along the way. The Void Eaters were coming, but so was a united galaxy, forged in understanding, strengthened by diversity, and driven by an unquenchable spirit of exploration and hope. Zara Chen, once a lone explorer on a barren world, now stood at the forefront of humanity's greatest adventure. With Crix by her side and the combined might of two great civilizations behind her, she was ready to take the next giant leap. The stars beckoned, and this time, they would answer the call not as conquerors, but as guardians of life itself. The next chapter in the cosmic story was about to begin, and Zara couldn't wait to see how it unfolded. As the Harmony Ring glimmered in Earth's orbit, a testament to what could be achieved through cooperation and understanding, Zara and Crix turned as one to face the future, a future brighter and more wondrous than either of them could have ever imagined. The adventure of a lifetime continued, with the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance. But with unity, courage, and an unbreakable bond of friendship, Zara knew that they were ready for whatever the cosmos might throw their way. The best was yet to come.